So I'm here with Aron Attiwell, and I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the amazing film that you've helped to produce.
Yep. So I was lucky enough to be first assistant director on Before Dawn, and we've just watched In the Trenches, which is the making of the film. What an incredible journey. It was like 3 to 4 years of hard work and resilience from what looked like a whole team, but ultimately like Jordon just was a gun, you know, producing, directing, writing, editing, everything. Kudos to him, and just kudos to everyone who worked on it, and I'm really hoping it propels him and the creative team behind it. So
now I believe you got pulled into this role sort of not at the last minute, but
for sure.
Yeah. How was that for you, and how did you go about, you know, sort of landing on your feet but with not much time to prepare?
Honestly, just kind of being called in for coffee at Dome, I was like, oh no, this is going to be like, I'm fired or whatever it was. What have I done wrong? Jordon was just super blunt and was just like, yep, you know, we need a first assistant director. Originally I was like, no, I'm not, you know, set for that. It's a huge production. My confidence is not at that kind of level. With kind of the support from other creatives and the backing, it was like, yep, you know, we only live once, so kind of just gave it a go. Honestly, like without that backing and support from other individuals, it would have been like such a super tough shoot. It just felt comfortable. We were kind of like a family and community down there, so it just kind of really helped move things forward.
And obviously this was Jordon's film, and then you're sort of directing him in some way, shape or form. How did that go about? Were there often conflicts, or were you able to just kind of work together to come to the best outcome?
I kind of like let him kind of direct, but obviously like the assistant director is kind of not really the individual that people like on set, because you know you're moving things around, and you know there's a lot of schedule and stuff to kind of abide by. You know, we'd always kind of joke around a lot, and Jordon mentioned, you know, we had karaoke nights in Esperance. Like we were such a tight, you know, community and family that was the reason for like the cog moving always on set and people joking around. That's kind of what you want on a set, is just like a really good strong community of creatives that just want to achieve the goal of like a really good product. So.
And you mentioned confidence a second ago, and the confidence that you felt you required for the role.
Yep.
How do you feel now if you were asked to do that role again?
Oh, 100% put my hand up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, all thanks to, you know, Jordon kind of having that trust in me to, you know, take on that role. But as well, like working with the strong team that, you know, those guys were, you need that kind of pedestal of support to do that role. But ultimately it is a collective effort, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. And what would you say to someone who would possibly be put in that position in the future? Like, what sort of guidance would you give them?
Oh, just do it. Ultimately, you know, as a learning experience as a creative, it's when we get chucked in the deep end is where we learn probably the most. You know, if we do hold back in this safety net, there's no room for development. It's, you know, when you are thrown in that kind of position, that's when you develop, that's where you network and just kind of build your confidence as a creative. So just do it if you get that opportunity.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so what's your background been to get to the role that you were able to take on for this film?
Yeah, I kind of was doing TAFE studies at the time and just saw Today Tonight with Jordon's face slapped on the TV and was like, I want to work with this guy. Just harassed him with emails. It was just crazy, you know, email after email. Luckily, he kind of just said, yeah, let's catch up for coffee and talk about it. So, but you know, like doing that, I wanted to direct and produce. So, you know, being able to be with Jordon and kind of shadow how he worked really kind of helped me understand collaboration and what kind of work that goes on behind the scenes. That was like an education in itself, is just kind of shadowing Jordon and his process, basically. So like I didn't really learn that from TAFE. TAFE did, you know, the foundations of film, but being on set and being with Jordon allowed me to kind of understand that director process live, basically. Yeah.
And so if there was an individual wanting to take on, you know, this dream role that you've possibly had, what sort of studies would you encourage them to do, or what roles should they maybe participate in? Yeah,
you know, definitely all the obviously educational institutes that, you know, like ECU, but also just being on set as like a third assistant director and just kind of working your way up to be an assistant director. That's just every kind of department, you know, that's kind of the rule. It's you start off with like the runner or the cleaner and you don't kind of just work your way up. But kind of just working on every set, you know, even if you're a student or, you know, kind of just emerging in green, it's just, you know, kind of putting your hand up and taking every opportunity to be a PA or to be a third assistant director and just kind of slowly work your way up to, top dog first AD. So
yeah, well, it's been a lot of responsibility that you've had. What are your dreams and goals for upcoming things? Do you want to put something else in Revelation Film Festival in the future, or?
My craft is probably directing and producing. And Revelation's just such a really local, community-driven festival, and I love that it's in Perth. And the content that kind of comes out of Rev it's really nice to see Perth creatives step up to that level, and it's just really satisfying to see the content that comes out. But yeah, ultimately I'd love to come back here like I come here every year, so it's just watching people and feeling proud of people's efforts and what they've achieved over the years.
And that final scene, that final take, what was that feeling when you were in Esperance and that was it?
It was just stress, as you probably saw, like everyone just kind of running around, and the responsibility of a first AD is to manage the set, and that was not managed. It was like everyone's just kind of doing their own thing. They knew, the sun was going down and we had to get the shot. Ultimately, the departments just did their own thing, but there was that trust. Even when everyone was super stressed, it was like, we're just going to achieve this goal, get it done. It's the last day. Everyone kind of knew that. When we called cut, have we actually finished? Because, we've done 6 weeks of this shoot. Jordan and I were just kind of having a bit of dialogue, and we're like, no, we're done. And it was like surreal that we've kind of gone to that point. Who's saying rap? Is it you? Is it me? And he was like, it can be me. And I was like, thank you. Appreciate it. That's the dream. It's like, you call rap. What an incredible experience. And the network I've built is from that project. I still keep in touch with people from that. So
that's awesome.
Incredible project.
Yeah, I bet you create some amazing relationships and possibly lifelong friendships.
100%.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, and you should be very proud.
Thank you.
You've created something very amazing.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.